Hello and welcome to Behind the Lines. I'm Diane Dayton. Today we're going to talk about the fabulous 27th Annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest. It's in Reading, Pennsylvania, and it truly is one of the biggest and best jazz and blues festivals in the world. With us right now we have two of the fabulous performers that are going to be here this year. Returning again is Gerald Veasley, bassist, no stranger to our set here. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure. Good to see you, Diane.
And wonderful pianist, composer. It's good to see you again, Keiko Matsui.
Thank you very much. Nice to see you again.
It's really good to see you.
Yes.
And you will be a feature at the festival this year. We're going to talk a little bit about your concert too. Okay. But isn't it wonderful with this festival bringing together the amount of musicians from around the world, Gerald, right?
Well, that's one of the best things about the festival. You have about 50 major concerts and musicians who literally come from everywhere. We see each other, we get a chance to perform together, both formally and informally. And I love being up close and personal with the audience too. Great venues and a great audience at Berks.
You will be playing at the Miller Center for the Arts. This is going to be on Friday, April 7th. You've played there before.
Yes.
It's a wonderful venue, isn't it, Keiko?
Yes, and this audience is really into music, and we could see many variety of genres music. And this is so much fun, and happy to be back.
I'm so glad that you're here too. And I'm glad Journey to the Heart is your latest release.
Yes, which is my 27th album.
Wow.
Same history as the Berks Jazz Festival. So
yes.
Maybe this is the meaning.
Yes.
Meant to be here.
It is, yes, I think so.
So happy.
Yeah, this is more acoustic, right?
Yes, actually, I have been doing with my electric band for over 25 years, and this is 30th year of my career since my first album was released in '87. And this Journey to the Heart is my first acoustic project. And I invited the Cuban bassist Carlitos Del Puerto and Jimmy Brownlee, and we did last year, we did the first acoustic show at Berks, and this time I'm bringing with new material, lots of new songs from new album and a hit from previous one, and I'm bringing with the electric band. So this is a totally new show.
I love to watch you perform, Keiko.
Thank you.
I really love to watch you perform. And to describe your music, sometimes it's been described kind of a combination of new age, world beat, light classical, and contemporary jazz. Kind of like all wrapped up.
Yes.
And even more.
Sometimes we go for rock.
Sometimes you go for rock
really,
too. Okay.
And really go deep, and sometimes very spiritual. And for me, music has no borders, and just it's a special gift from universe or from above. We can put our mind together. So for me, just I'm enjoying to express myself through the music. Music is like a mirror, and material is all my composition. So I'm very honored and happy to share this.
And music connects us. I know you speak a lot about that, and it really connects us as people around the world too. And I know you both have traveled around the world, and you see that to be very true.
Yes, really works, you know. And I travel sometime in Eastern Europe, Russia, Ukraine, or Azerbaijan, and Turkey, South Africa, of course, US, Japan, Asia. But you see many problems on this earth, but everyone has a reason and something to talk about. But the music doesn't matter any situation, any religion, any culture's difference. Music just speaks magically between all of us. So it's the bridge for everyone. So I hope that we can bring more peaceful air and to remind oneness to each soul. That will be great.
Absolutely. Music truly connects us, and when you come to Berks Jazz Fest, there are many different types of music to connect with too, even more than some other festivals. I know there's also a blues, a lot of blues musicians that we can actually hear too. Tommy Katona and Texas Flood, I know, are some as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the great things about the festival, that it's John Ernesto, the general manager, has done a great job over the years of making sure there are a lot of different styles of music represented. You have Snarky Puppy, which is a very modern sounding band. You have Jason Miles with the music of Weather Report, presenting sort of a touch on the great jazz rock fusion. Then bands like Foreplay, which is very contemporary jazz, and you know, funky people like Larry Graham is even going to be there. So you couldn't ask for a more diverse type of festival in terms of programming.
It's so true. And Jim Brickman is going to be there this year as well. And I know that's a name that a lot of people recognize too. Brian Culbertson has a great following, and he's a real funky boy, and I know he's going to be bringing his brand of funk back as well. There's a great tribute to George Duke that Everett Harp is doing too.
I'm really looking forward to seeing that. As you know, Keiko, George Duke was a really inspiration to many of us musicians.
Yeah, hero.
Really was. And we lost him too soon, but if anybody can do a great job honoring his music, it's Everett Harp, so that should be a fantastic show.
Yeah. I love how we incorporate some of the local musicians there too. There's always the Berks horns that are included in various shows, and I think that's going to be in Jason Miles' performance with Celebrating the Music as well. And we're also going to be hearing the Reading Pops Orchestra with Minas. Tell us about Minas. I know you're very familiar with Orlando and
so
Patricia.
Minas is a Brazilian band led by Orlando and Patricia Haddad, and they actually, Orlando comes from this little area in Brazil called Minas. And for 30+ years, they've been making music in our region, and they have a loyal following that loves their brand of Brazilian music and Brazilian jazz. So we've brought them together with the Reading Pops Orchestra. They actually released a symphonic record. I think it's called Symphony in Bossa. So they'll be performing some of that music with the really wonderful orchestra that we have right here in Reading.
Yeah, that's going to be so much fun. The All-Star Jam is Thursday at 8 p.m. And that's a staple. That is just marvelous. I know you've played in that before too, Keiko.
Yes, that was really fun. And all headliners, not many times we get together on same time, on same stage, but this is the time we get together and we will make some miracles together.
It really is miracles, and you never know what's going to happen with
no
that.
rehearsal.
No rehearsal.
No rehearsal with that.
Going up the stage.
But that's the beautiful thing about it, as you were
Absolutely.
saying, how it unites, music unites people. Even for us as musicians, we share a common language, and that vocabulary, which is the music, allows us to converse with one another on stage.
Yeah. Even sometimes I don't know the song, but I just play together. It's wonderful experience.
Absolutely. Well, another thing that takes on a life of its own, much like the All-Star Jam, are the Midnight Jams that you host, Cheryl. And those are both Friday and Saturday nights, and they're held at Building 24 Live. And they are extremely well attended.
Yeah, people really line up they get angry if they can't make it in. So we actually moved it to a bigger venue, as you mentioned, Building 24, which it can accommodate more fans because they love the spontaneity that happens. They love the excitement. So after they see a Nick Coleon, for example, on the big stage from a distance, then they can come to Building 24 and be up close and personal, see him informally having fun with the other musicians there. And it's so much fun.
It is. And Nick's putting together a great show where jazz meets blues. So he's bringing together jazz artists along with some blues artists. And one of the blues guitarist that I know a lot of our audience will know is Clarence Spady.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to see that combination on stage for that night too.
I'm excited too. I heard the Clarence Spady for the first time actually in Reading years ago, and I was blown away by his musicianship, his showmanship, and that's going to be a hot show. Jazz meets blues, absolutely.
It is. We're going to put the Berks Jazz Fest website up on the screen. Once again, it is Friday, March 31st through Sunday, April 9th. So it's 10 days. There are 50 major acts. There's over 100 when you go to some of the smaller venues. There is so much going on there. We are going to take a quick look at you performing. We want to give the audience a taste of what you are like when you're on stage. So we're going to take a break and check out Keiko Matsui right now. talking about the 27th Annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest, Reading, Pennsylvania, Friday, March 31st through Sunday, the 9th of April. And the very last concert on the 9th has been going on for at least 4 years, I think, right now. And it's with Kirk Whalum, and it's the Gospel According to Jazz.
It's one of my favorites of the festival. Kirk Whalum is such a wonderful musician, and he's recorded these Gospel According to Jazz albums and DVDs that have been well received around the world. And this year his concert, which is a very special concert here at Berks, you won't see this concert anywhere else. He features the great Fred Hammond as his special guest.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be an amazing concert and a great way to end the festival on a high note.
It really has been a coming together, I think, at the end of the festival, and really uplifting with that. And I think that's why it's become such a great signature event.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Something else that's kind of signature is you being there. Because my understanding is, and when you and I talked earlier, that this will be the 26th year out of 27 that you've been there, right?
Yeah, I think so. At least 25. I've been trying to get the exact number. The cameras didn't work so well back then, so there's no evidence. But I've been a part of the festival. It's really been gratifying because I've gotten to know so many folks in Berks County, both involved with the festival and even just people who live and work in the area. And I love it. I consider it home away from home.
Well, it is home away from home. You're doing a pre-show. Tell us about that before the festival.
Yeah, so I have this residency in Philadelphia at a venue called South. It's called a South Jazz Parlor in downtown Philadelphia. So for over a year, I've been hosting and booking events there and performing with some of the same artists that we see at the Berks Jazz Fest. Keiko Matsui's going to be there.
Yes.
So we have a great time, and one of the preview concerts for the Berks Jazz Fest will happen on March 16th. It is my tribute to Charles Mingus. We call it the Electric Mingus Project, and it's a fantastic project because it includes some of the inventiveness and traditional, well, you can hardly call Charles Mingus's music traditional, but jazz music along with a modern sensibility with me and some of my good friends, and that'll be a great way to kind of ease folks into the Berks Jazz Fest. Once again, it's happening at South in Philadelphia on March 16th.
Well, there's going to be an interesting parlor there, too, at Berks Jazz Fest, South Parlor, right?
Right. So we've been talking a little bit about the diversity of the festival, and this is one of the festivals that brings contemporary jazz along with straight-ahead jazz. So there'll be 13 concerts at the Doubletree branded as South Jazz Parlor Presents. And we'll have folks like Dr. Lonnie Smith, Pat Martino Organ Trio, Rick Braun performs the music of Chet Baker, a lot of stuff for the straight-ahead lover, and folks who are just interested in music in addition to smooth jazz. It's going to be a fantastic 13 days. Yeah,
it's great when we look at the caliber of musicians that come in. What I love about the festival is that everybody's so accessible because everybody's walking around, going here, going there. And I know, Keiko, we were talking about maybe you can get to bop in and get to listen to some of the shows too, right?
Yes, looking forward to.
Yeah.
And after the show, always nice to have time, meet and greet, and autograph session from each artist to see the audience to meet. That's wonderful too.
I think the audience really eats that up too because everybody's so accessible and they get to talk, get the pictures, get the autograph CDs and that sort of thing too.
I think we like it too as artists because we get to hear sometimes little stories about how the music has affected people, which is very gratifying to know that the music means something to someone. Maybe it's an anniversary song or a song that helped people through tough times, so we love hearing those stories.
And I know too, even with the different sites where you're playing, even if some are larger, there's still an intimacy that's felt between the artist and the audience and the connectivity. Isn't it, Keiko?
Yes, it's like exchanging energy, and a concert is the most powerful and origin way to share the music. So nowadays you can download the music, but the concert is we are sharing the same air and energy flow, and we are experience everything together. So that's wonderful, and this is the biggest experience week or 10 days of that. So I'm really looking forward to it.
It's something about being present in the moment together and sharing that time together and then going forth from there because it brings us together in such a positive way.
Yes.
One of the other things we were talking about with Berks Jazz Fest is how diverse it is. They're bringing in the NYPD Jazz Band.
I can't wait to hear that performance. And that's one of the community concerts, which the audience should know is free. And we love how the festival gives back and gives the concerts that are free of charge, that involve the performers, not just the NYPD band, but community people who perform in the community as well.
Right. And they're also going to be performing with the Berks High School All-Star Jazz Band, too.
Which is awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's great to have those experiences for those students as well, isn't it, Keiko?
Right, I think this is a great opportunity, and everybody, music lover, is paying attention deeply, and they're a great opportunity for young musicians, new career musicians to experience everything with legends. That's
Yes,
great.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We can't forget the Berks Bop Night. That's great. Gerald Albright's going to be there, Chuck Loeb, Rick Braun, Brian Bromberg, Jeff Lorber.
Wow.
Yeah, so these are household names in the smooth jazz world, but they are
Absolutely.
very versatile, and so they give a night. They've been doing this in different ways for a number of years, and it's something that you only see at Berks, where you see these smooth jazz musicians playing straight ahead music, and it's very, very exciting to watch the people you mentioned, Brian Bromberg, Chuck Loeb, really do their thing on stage.
Absolutely. I am so excited that Pat Martino is back this year. Wow. Tell us a little bit more about Pat.
Well, Pat Martino is, you used the word legend a while ago. He's truly a legend, a fantastic guitarist, and you know, one of the greats. He has an interesting story in that he had something happen with his brain where he lost his memory of playing. He had a really serious problem, and he had an operation and had to teach himself to play again. He totally forgot all of music, and now he's back.
Yes.
It's been several years now, and he's better than ever, and just one of the icons. And those are folks you really want to see, those iconic musicians, absolutely.
Absolutely. So you need to get your brochure, but you need to, more importantly, go online. We're going to put the website up once again. You can find out all things Berks. What I think is great here, you get to find out about all the the main venue concerts, but also other concerts that are going on. You can get your tickets there. There are also artist profiles. So if you want to get to know a little bit more about the artists, you can do that as well. Yeah.
It's very special.
It definitely is very special. What part do you really enjoy the most about this, Gerald?
I think we've touched on it, which is the personal contact. I love the personal touch. You can play festivals. Keiko and I were sharing stories. We can't mention any names, but there's something that sets the Berks Jazz Fest apart in terms of just that personal touch, and as Keiko referred to earlier, just the love of the music, how deeply connected the audience is to the music.
What about you, Keiko?
Yes, so yeah, this is a great environment, and with a great musician, artistry, and sharing momentum with music lovers. So I'm gonna enjoy, and I wish I can stay whole week.
Maybe that can be arranged sometime.
Yeah.
Some of the other artists too that I don't want to forget to mention. Patty Austin's going to be there with Jonathan Butler and Gerald Albright.
Yeah, this is another one of those one-of-a-kind concerts where you won't see those three performers perform together, except at a stage like Berks, and Patty Austin is truly one of the greats, a wonderful vocalist.
Absolutely. The new Urban Jazz Party, that's Bob Baldwin, Walter Beasley, Marion Meadows, and Tom Brown.
It's going to be a funky night. It's going to be a party.
Yeah.
If you want to see, some folks think that jazz, you just kind of sit there and sit still, but that's an example of a band that's going to really have you rocking and having a good time.
And I think, once again, that's what's important to realize about this festival. It's jazz, blues, and it's everything in that whole spectrum, and mixed up with a lot of other things as well, too.
Right.
Yes,
You just have to experience it
That's it.
to see what it's really all
With
about.
big heart.
With a big heart.
Big heart.
That's
Yes,
right.
there you go. That makes sense to me. Well, we've already heard a little bit about Keiko playing, and we've seen and watched her. So we're going to take a brief pause and check out Gerald Beasley on bass. And boy, is he fun. Check this one out. talking about the 27th Annual Boscov's Berks Jazz Fest, Reading, Pennsylvania, Friday, March 31st through Sunday, April 9th. Some of the other artists, Will Downing is going to be there, Chuck Loeb there, full force, Chuck Loeb and Friends, 480 East, if you're familiar with. There is just so much going on. This is all presented by the Berks Arts Council, too. And a CD release party, too, for Selena Albright with her new album, and hear what she's doing with that. It's going to be great. So give us some final thoughts, Gerald.
Well, the Berks Jazz Fest is such an institution that sometimes folks who haven't been there yet have heard of it, but keep thinking, well, I'll get around to it one day. So we hope that this is the year to get some of the new folks to come out and experience it, because once you experience the Berks Jazz Fest, you'll be a fan forever.
You keep coming back.
You'll keep coming back.
Yeah. What about you, Keiko?
Yes, this year, since I involved this segment, so I learned about more deeply. So I'd love to share more time, and also I hope that many audiences coming from all over the world.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You get to sample so many different types of music and meet other people that enjoy this type of music as well. I know that I end up meeting these people that come back every year and plan their vacations around it.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And it absolutely makes sense. So we're talking jazz, we're talking blues, we're talking world music, we're talking straight ahead contemporary. It's something for everybody,
Something
right?
for everybody.
Something
Absolutely.
for everybody. Once again, we're going to put the website up on the screen. You can go there and get your tickets. It's important that you do that. But, you know, you can also get things when you get there, too. Yeah, so thank you so much for taking time
It's been a
today.
pleasure.
Thank you.
And sharing with us what's going on at the festival and your part with it, too.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks so much.
Thank you very
We'd
much.
like to say thank you for joining us today, too. I'm Diane Dayton with Behind the Lines, reminding you to look behind the lines. You might be surprised what you find.